Welcome and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today. Today's training is on workplace violence and my name is MollyCase. The reason I decided to do this training was because if you recall, a few buildings down from us, there was a disgruntled employee who decided to shoot at his coworker and his employer. Unfortunately, that very afternoon, that same employee ended his life. What really made me decide to do this training was because instead of the building being secured and locked down, the employees were outside looking to see what was going on. Fortunately for us, I did get a call from the police department and they told us what was going on and that we needed to stay inside. We eventually got the building secured. It took a while, but everyone was safe. In this presentation, we will discuss what workplace violence is, the types of workplace violence, where we can find our company policy on workplace violence, what safe areas and exits in your workspace, and what you can do after an incident of workplace violence. The training will take about 45 minutes. A PowerPoint presentation will be utilized and I will show a couple of videos. We will take a break from the PowerPoint presentation to go into groups of 3 and 4 to discuss different types of scenarios amongst yourself. This will be about 10 minutes long, and then you will elect a speaker from your group to stand and discuss their findings with the class. After the discussion, we will continue with the PowerPoint presentation and any questions you may have. After the presentation, I will be handing out an evaluation on the training. What I hope to accomplish from this training is improve personal safety for all employees, workplace situational awareness, and knowledge of how to respond to workplace violence. Okay, if everyone's ready, then we'll get started. We're going to begin with the video. The presentation is going to take about 45 minutes. We're going to break it up into scenarios, into groups, and we're going to discuss scenarios. And then you're going to tell us your findings on the scenarios, and then we're going to continue with the PowerPoint presentation. Okay?
She can't take half of my money. I'm the one who worked for it. You're a lawyer. Do something about it. She's getting the house too? What are you, blind? Hey! This is my parking space.
Come on, Mark. I got here before you did.
Mark, there are plenty of other parking spaces back there.
Mind your own business. This is between me and her.
Look, you saw me use a turn signal.
It's ridiculous to get upset over a parking space. Jeez. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Leah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, good luck at that presentation today.
Have a good day.
So what is eating Mark? He used to be one of the nicer guys around here.
I know. He's been really difficult to work with lately. The other day in a meeting, I heard he left in a huff, and last week at lunch, okay, I saw it. He totally flipped out because the waitress got his order wrong.
Well, I heard he was going through a really messy divorce.
Oh, that's no reason to threaten your coworker, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We should go to HR.
I really don't want to do that. I don't want to spend my whole morning at HR. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
I heard about what happened in the parking garage. Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not a great way to start your morning.
No kidding.
How did you hear?
Office gossip. But don't worry, I will take care of it, okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
Gotcha.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks.
You wanted to see me?
Yeah, please have a seat.
I'll stand.
Would you mind closing the door, please? Mark, I heard about the incident today in the parking garage. I have to tell you, there have been some consistent complaints about your aggressive behavior, and that type of behavior is not acceptable here. Do you understand? I also need to speak with you about your performance lately. Your work quality's been very poor, and we've decided that we need to place you on a probationary period of 1 month. We'll be evaluating you weekly, and at the end of that period, if we don't see some significant improvement, then there will be some serious consequences. Mark, you could lose your job over this.
Fine.
Do you want to discuss this further? I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
No. Are we done here?
Yes, we're done.
This is it. I can't take this anymore.
Okay, today we're going to discuss what the terminology of workplace violence is, and then we also want to discuss what's in it for me on workplace violence. What's in it for you is improved personal safety, workplace situational awareness, and knowledge of what to do before and after workplace violence. The definition of workplace violence, according to OSHA, is any act of threat, physical violence, meaning punching, shoving, harassment. Somebody could be harassing you through phone calls, through emails. Intimidation. It could be somebody getting right in your face, intimidating you, or threatening and disruptive behavior. And that could be like another training. I have to go to another training. So that's disruptive behavior. And it could occur at the work site. Other examples are threats, verbal abuse, to physical assaults, and even homicide. It can affect employees, clients, vendors, or visitors, or even those could be the cause of workplace violence. Let's say, for example, my husband comes up to work and we've been arguing, and it goes a little further than just arguing. Workplace violence policy. Our company prohibits violence, threats, intimidation, disruptive conduct on company property, company premises if the associate is on company business, or if there's an extension of workplace violence, which could be like Kenny and I could have an argument at work. We get it resolved, and then we go to a restaurant or a bar, and Kenny happens to be there. So we get into another argument. So that is an extension of workplace violence. For the safety of all, there are no weapons, firearms, any type of firearms or weapons in company property, company vehicles, or while on company business. That means that no one can carry a weapon in their purse to work. Or if you're an MSST driver and you're going to drive to a work site, you cannot have a weapon on you, bombs, grenades, anything. Even if you have a concealed permit, you still cannot have any types of weapons on company property. And this is for everyone. This is for associates, vendors, customers, clients, and invitees. If I invite someone to come see me at work, they cannot be carrying a concealed weapon. The company workplace policy can be found in the Associate Code of Conduct, which reference guide, and I put one for everyone. And if you can't find a copy and you need one, then you can contact Human Resources and we'll email you a copy. All new hires in the new hire packet during orientation, they get a copy and also sign an acknowledgement saying that they received it. Okay, so now the fun stuff. We're going to break up into groups of 3 or 4, which now we have 1 group, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to go over these scenarios and come up with an action plan on what you would do. And then pick one person from your group to stand up and discuss it with the class. And you've got 10 minutes to discuss, and we'll start now.
Once you go through the fence, then you should exit to the wall. But if you don't exit through that fence, you're stuck in the building. You're always going to be in your confinement.
So it's not something that should even be in the workplace. So you can't just automatically assume it's a joke.
Refuse.
Anything else?
Hope he's not the one who tipped it off.
Okay?
It could be, you never know. We're working through it.
You guys doing all right? You're done? Perfect. You'll be number 1.
While we're all there exiting the building. Tick tock.
The thing is,
You guys doing okay? So we can start. Yeah,
everyone has your exit. Everyone has their exit.
One that's like not talking about no guns allowed on the property, does that include someone's car in the parking lot? So they can't leave a gun in a car in our parking lot, correct? We'll discuss that.
not included.
Are we all going to the same scenario?
No.
Each
Yes.
person has somebody.
No, they're all different scenarios.
Yeah, that's what
So you guys can start as you're speaking. Okay, we're going to start off with this group. Who's your speaker? Angie. You will stand, read the scenario and what you came up with. Yes, you have to stand.
Back in school.
Okay, our scenario was, it's business as usual in the work area. Suddenly you see one of your coworkers hit another one in the face and then in the stomach. Your coworker who was getting hit screams, "Stop hitting." You hear another coworker screaming, "Stop!" So our questions were, what initial action would you take? And please be specific with your actions. One, we said, send someone to get a supervisor. And if you're able to stay there and maybe diffuse or just make sure that it doesn't get worse than what it is. That was probably the correct protocol, but our reaction would be to intervene right away. You know, leave them alone. That's probably what we would initially do. What resources would you contact to help manage the situation? Contact HR and the police, depending on the severity of it, or HR would probably have to contact the police department. Get security if we actually have one in the building. And we may need medical assistance. We would have to contact rescue depending on how bad this person was hit.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, let's go with this group.
Okay, our scenario is, it's business as usual in your work area. Suddenly gunshots are heard coming from the lobby. You hear screaming by the people in the front office cubicles from the sales department. What initial action would you take, and what resources would you contact to help manage the situation? Speaking from me in accounting, because we have a DAC exit, that's the first thing I would advise everyone to exit the building through that closest exit. As we're exiting, because there are like 17, 18 of us, I would like to, we would maybe say, Angie, call 911, so that we don't have all 18 people running with the cell phone calling 911. Once we're safely out of the building, we would then see what other assistance we could offer.
Okay, very good. This group?
Our scenario was, it's business as usual in your work area. Suddenly you see your coworker walk by the cubicles and stare at another coworker continuously throughout the day. The coworker tells the other, "I'll see you after work to resolve this." So our initial action would be to ask the coworker, "Is everything okay?" And then to notify a manager of the situation and ask how it would be resolved. And the resources we would contact would be management and HR and an escort to your vehicle after work if it got necessary.
Very good. Good job, Jen. The last group?
Our scenario says a colleague in your department has grown increasingly agitated over the last few weeks. In meetings, he or she acts disrespectful and argumentative. This morning, he or she kicked a trash can and is now sitting in the break room muttering. And the question is, what initial action would you take? Be specific. We kind of went in a couple different directions. The first thing was we talked about, if you don't really know the employee, you might just leave them alone and let them sit in the break room and mutter to themselves a little bit. And the other thing was, if somebody you knew, probably contact them and see if they're okay, kind of be gentle with them and see if there's something you can help them with. And if you did contact them and there was some additional aggression, then we would probably contact their supervisor. And the last thing we talked about once we did that is kind of move away or step away from the situation. And the secondary question, the resources, what resources would you contact to help manage the situation? Obviously, if you're there and you witness it yourself, we would use ourselves to try to intervene and find out what's going on if we could. We would contact utilize their manager, and then if we still weren't happy, we could go to human resources and let them know about the issue too.
Okay, very good. What we want to do is make sure that the employees are aware of situations and to formulate a plan. Just one day when you're sitting around doing nothing at work, you could say, "Hey, if this was to happen here, what would I do? Where's the exits? What would I do if they came and they were here in my office?" That's just something for you to think about. Here we've got another video, and this is similar to the situation that happened a few buildings down from us.
It may feel like just another day at the office, but occasionally, life feels more like an action movie than reality. The authorities are working hard to protect you and to protect our public spaces. But sometimes bad people do bad things. Their motivations are different. The warning signs may vary, but the devastating effects are the same. And unfortunately, you need to be prepared for the worst. If you were ever to find yourself in the middle of an active shooter event, your survival may depend on whether or not you have a plan. The plan doesn't have to be complicated. There are 3 things you could do that make a difference: run, hide, fight. First and foremost, if you can get out, do. Always try and escape or evacuate, even when others insist on staying. Encourage others to leave with you, but don't let them slow you down with indecision. Remember what's important, you, not your stuff. Leave your belongings behind and try to find a way to get out safely. Trying to get yourself out of harm's way needs to be your #1 priority. Once you are out of the line of fire, try to prevent others from walking into the danger zone and call 911. If you can't get out safely, you need to find a place to hide. Act quickly and quietly. Try to secure your hiding place the best you can. Turn out lights, and if possible, remember to lock doors. Silence your ringer and vibration mode on your cell phone. And if you can't find a safe room or closet, try to conceal yourself behind large objects that may protect you. Do your best to remain quiet and calm. As a last resort, if your life is at risk, whether you are alone or working together as a group, fight. Act with aggression. Improvise weapons. Disarm him. And commit to taking the shooter down, no matter what. Try to be aware of your environment. Always have an exit plan. Know that in an incident like this, victims are generally chosen randomly. The event is unpredictable and may evolve quickly. The first responders on the scene are not there to evacuate or tend to the injured. They are well trained and are there to stop the shooter. Your actions can make a difference for your safety and survival. Be aware and be prepared. And if you find yourself facing an active shooter, there are 3 key things you need to remember to survive. Run, hide, fight.
Okay, from the video we just watched, it showed safe areas and exits. Kenny, would you know what to do in the event of an active shooter? Do you know where your safe areas are, where the exits are?
Yes.
Debbie? Yeah. Does anybody not know where their safe areas are and where their exits are in the building? You just want to make sure that you know the quickest route and how to get out. Okay, what are some other things you can do in an active shooter event? You can run, try to escape, get out of the building as soon as you can. You can hide. It showed some areas where you can hide. Terry, your office would be perfect. You could lock the door, plus you have a metal door. You can hide under your desk, but make sure you pull the chair to and make sure you silence your phone. Or you can fight. Fight if you think that you can and you can overpower him, or if there is a group of people like they showed in the video that you can overpower the shooter, then you can do that. I mean, it would be up to you. Nobody would be forcing you to do anything. Most incidents of workplace violence consists of the following. Now, the active shooter was extreme, but we know that it does happen because it happened a few buildings down. assault, threats, harassment, intimidation, and disruptive behavior. Those are the most common. Where to go to help if you are a witness to workplace violence. And this is just the most common ones, not for the active shooter. You can begin with your supervisor, you can report it, or if you have suspicions of anyone, report it to your supervisor. You can go to Human Resources, they can help, and then also senior staff. But if you see someone that is being physically hurt, then please call 911 for assistance. The police will be there to separate the fight, and then also the ambulance will get there to care for the hurt individual. Okay, so after the video, would you change any of your scenarios?
I don't think we would, because we would still exit the building as quick as we can, and exit in the opposite direction of the shooter.
Anyone? Okay, and also, just to let you know that after workplace violence, you feel that you need to really talk to someone, and talking to your employer or coworkers is not going to help. You need to seek further attention. So we can have the employee assistance program that we can set up counselors to talk about it, and they will help you. It's anonymous, nobody needs to know. You can call them, they can set up an appointment for you. That's for your benefit. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, in conclusion, we don't want anyone to be naive and think that it could never happen to you. Now, we know it can happen because it happened a few buildings down. There's no amount of training that's going to prepare everyone for workplace violence. But if you become suspicious and you see someone or something going on, then you do need to alert someone. Your supervisor would be preferably, then you can go further if that doesn't help. But stay prepared and have a plan. It doesn't take too much to think about where the exits are and what you would do in certain situations. And then I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and I will see everyone at work. That's it.